Good evening. Aloha from Florida. So I was just in a TikTok live and somebody in the chat, which we call them chat warriors because they want to troll the chat and ask questions and make comments, but they never want to come up to the panel. And I find that funny because it's like they really believe in balls, but they don't have any balls. They're scared to come up and have an actual conversation with people who are knowledgeable about the truth of creation or flat earth or geocentric cosmology. So yeah, I find that funny. But we also have professional paid liars, not just trolls, but people who are shills or even government agents who get paid to lie about the earth. They lie about geography. They lie about astronomy. They lie about space programs. They promote the lies. They try to defend the deception. But here's the simple truth. Truth is strong and lies are weak. And that's why flat earth is growing, because it's true. Truth is simple and truth is strong. Lies are complicated and lies are weak. If you want to believe that the earth is a globe, you have to have an enormous amount of blind faith. And you will not be able to explain all of the theoretical, hypothetical, chalkboard calculations, the very complicated math that they have created based on 96% dark matter and dark energy, just to try to confirm the lie that the earth is a spinning wet rock in outer space. Meanwhile, the physics of water proves the earth is flat. The physics of aviation and the airplanes flying through the air over a plane proves the earth is flat. The microwave transmissions, the physics of microwave transmissions, which only works line of sight and goes hundreds of miles at a time, which cannot work on a sphere with a 3,959 mile radius. So again, truth is simple and truth is strong. Lies are complicated and lies are weak. Flat Earth is winning and Flat Earth is growing and will continue to grow because it is simple and it is strong. Have a great night. God bless.
The other reason that they got rid of the bells that most people don't know is because the bells have languages written on them. If you look at the old bells of the 1940s all the way back to the 1700s, there's actually scripture that is written on the bells, and there's old languages in which we don't use anymore. And if you think about it, old languages would tell you something different. There's also lots of angels on the bells. There also used to be lots of angels on top of the buildings. So you kind of seeing how like certain things have been kind of like wiped away, and because of that, it's changed the way that people think. When you don't see angels anymore, and you don't see this ancient scripture, and you don't see these ancient languages, you believe the narrative. So that is why a lot of those bells have disappeared. And with bells, you can get rid of storms, you know, when you ring the bell. You can also ring the bell if there's a weirdo in your town, so you guys can all that person and get rid of that person and kick them out. And then on top of it, it would heal the people and also heal the plants and heal all the birds and everything else. This is why you hear like birds chirping. They love wind chimes. They love sound effects like that. That's the connection to the bells. So
I'm really at a point now where I cannot even have a conversation with anyone who is not awake to the lies, the corruption, and the manipulation. I can't talk to anyone at work, my family. The only one who's awake is my girl. And no one really enjoys having a conversation with me because we're not going to agree on anything. If you're awake, you know what I'm talking about. You know how frustrating it is. Because all day, people at work are talking about sports and what was on the news and elections. Like, oh, did you see the game last night? That was crazy. And I'm just like, no, that shit's rigged. And they're like, oh, well, did you see what was on the news last night? That shit was crazy, right? And I'm like, no, that's all lies and manipulation. And they're like, oh, well, did you see who they voted in New York? They're fucked now. And I'm like, no, voting means nothing and it's illusion of choice. Are you stupid? The amount of corruption in the blatantly obvious lies is out of control. And everyone's out here just eating it up. They're just eating it all up. Like the narrative on the streets is like, oh, did you see what the left did to CK for speaking his mind? And I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Do you know anything besides what the media tells you? And they're like, oh, well, you watch these podcasts, right? And I'm like, no, they're all controlled opposition. So lately, I don't even talk much at work, and anybody says anything to me, I just go, yeah, that's crazy. And all these people out here, they're just not even aware of the fact that 80% of the videos they watch every day are not even real.
If the ocean floor is another firmament, a barrier between realms, then what's below that? In part 1, we talked about how Genesis describes the water above from the waters below, and how modern science confirms there are hidden massive reservoirs of water hundreds of miles beneath the Earth's surface. We explored how the ocean floor itself might just be another firmament, a kind of boundary separating our world from what Scripture calls the deep. But if that's true, what's under that firmament? In this part, we're diving deeper into what the Bible and ancient texts actually say about the abyss, interdimensional beings, and hidden realms beneath our world. Throughout Scripture, the deep ocean and the abyss are described almost interchangeably. In Hebrew, the word tehom means the deep, the same word used in Genesis when God's Spirit moved over the waters before creation ever even began. But later in Scripture, the same word becomes symbolic of something darker, a realm of confinement and a hidden spiritual activity. In Luke 8:31, when Jesus confronts the legion of demons, they beg him not to send them into the abyss. In Revelation 9, a fallen angel is given the key to the bottomless pit, and when it's opened, strange beings rise out of it. And in Revelation 20, Satan himself is bound and thrown into the abyss for 1,000 years. So the deep, the abyss, isn't just a poetic description of the ocean. It's a spiritual dimension beneath ours, one that God uses as a prison for certain beings. Now, this is where the Book of Enoch and the Dead Sea Scrolls fill in powerful details that Scripture hints at but doesn't ever fully explain. According to 1 Enoch, 200 watchers, heavenly beings, descended on Mount Hermon, making a pact to leave their proper domain and take human wives. These unions produced the Nephilim, the giants mentioned in Genesis 6. But because of this rebellion, God sent his judgment, the flood, and it wasn't just about human sin. It was about cleansing the earth of corruption caused by these fallen beings. And Enoch records that these watchers were cast down into the depths, into Tartarus, the lowest part of the abyss, to be held in chains until the day of judgment. The same story appears in 2 Peter 2:4 and Jude 1:6, confirming that these beings are real and imprisoned in a dark, unseen realm below us. So maybe that's where what we think aliens come in, because what are these beings really? The Bible describes angels and demons as existing in heavenly places, not planets or galaxies, but realms that overlap ours. You could call them interdimensional. They move between planes of existence, sometimes appearing to humans, sometimes remaining invisible. If these fallen beings were cast into the depths, it makes sense that they would dwell in a realm beneath our visible world, possibly the same unseen dimension the Bible calls the abyss. And honestly, this could explain why strange activity is often linked to the oceans. One, it's unexplored. And think about the Bermuda Triangle. If the ocean floor truly acts as a barrier between dimensions, that would make it the perfect place for imprisoned or hidden entities to exist just beyond human reach. In ancient Hebrew, the sea represented chaos, a place of disorder and danger, often used as a symbol for the presence of evil or rebellion against God's order. Sirens, for instance? That's why Revelation says the beast rises out of the sea. It's not just about geography, it's theology. The sea symbolizes the chaotic realm beneath, where evil sits and stirs until God allows it to surface. The deep is where order meets chaos, light meets darkness, and throughout the Bible demonstrates God the most powerfully, because even the oceans obey his commands. And that brings us full circle, because even today, more than 80% of the ocean remains unmapped. It's dark, pressurized, and nearly inaccessible to us. It's the perfect concealment zone, physically and perhaps spiritually. If what Scripture and Enoch describes is true, the deep may not be just water. It may be the very veil separating our world from a totally different one. If you guys want a part 3, we'll go even deeper into what happens when the abyss opens, the prophecy in Revelation where the bottomless pit is unlocked and the entities rise from it. We'll connect it with modern sightings, ancient prophecies, and spiritual meaning behind what's coming next.